Today's devotion is John chapter 20, and really it's the last chapter of John and the climax, the most important. There's one more chapter, but it's kind of the epilogue, still important, but this is the chapter because this is the resurrection of Jesus. And this chapter is all about you and me believing in Jesus, his death and resurrection, because it's fine to read everything about Jesus up until now and then climaxing with the death and resurrection, but it's no good to you if you don't believe it. So this chapter is actually all about how those early disciples came to believe, all with the purpose of convincing you to believe as well. So it starts with Mary. She's going to look for Jesus' body. She doesn't find it. She's wondering where it is. She goes and tells other disciples. Two of them come running, John, the writer, and Peter. John says, I got there first. He goes in and it simply says there, he saw and believed. He saw the grave clothes and he came to believe. Then Mary's outside. She sees a man. She says, where did you put Jesus? She thought he was the gardener. And the gardener says, no, I am he. So she had her encounter with Jesus. She came to believe. She said, go and tell the disciples. Then Jesus turns up to speak to the disciples and appears as they're gathered behind closed doors. And they all saw him. He showed them his hands and side. They believed. Thomas wasn't there. So Jesus turns up again another time when the disciples were gathering. He shows Thomas his hands and side. And then he believes. And all this comes to this end verse at the end of the chapter, and sort of at the end of the book before the epilogue. And it just basically says, these are written so that you may believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that you may have life in his name. This is the whole purpose of the book, and especially the whole purpose of chapter 19, his death, chapter 21, his resurrection. It's all written so that you will believe. And believe is so much more than saying, oh yes, that's true. Belief is a sense of it changes everything about my life. And that's a day-to-day thing for all of us, is that this belief changes us. Just one quick thing I also want to mention. You really need to read all this for yourself. It's awesome stuff. Is Jesus uses these words, peace be with you, over and over again in this chapter. Now, he would have used these words all through John's gospel because it was a Hebrew greeting. That's how they spoke to each other. But it's only recorded here in this chapter, and it has a meaning. You will remember in the upper room that Jesus talked about the peace that he brings, and I do not give as the world gives, my peace I leave with you. And then when he comes back from the resurrection, he speaks about this peace. He says, peace be with you, peace be with you, peace be with you. And that comment is like the fulfillment of everything he says. So fulfillment for us as well. There's the belief and there's the peace that comes with that. And then there's a life that comes with that. So read, study, get into every word, every sentence, every part of the story. It all means something. It's all about bringing belief and it's all about bringing peace. So get into it. See you later.